Hey guys, I'm going to be making a very interesting video today. As you can tell by the title probably. It's about my craziest, weirdest, angriest moments with my teachers and stuff. This is going to get interesting because a lot of my teachers, for some reason, even though I've almost never done anything wrong in their class, they just hate me. One of my teachers, we'll call him, since we're using this LPS for him, and his name is Max, we'll just call him Mr. Max. He hated me. He hated my guts. So let's get on to the video. Lilac. Yes, Mr. Max. Can I help you? Did you sneeze? Yes. Yeah, I sneezed. Go to the RTC right now. What did I do? You sneezed. But everyone else sneezes. They don't get to RTC. Go. Okay, I'm going. Is anyone else scared of Mr. Max now? So yeah, Mr. Max, every time I sneezed, he would send me to RTC. And for those of you that may not know what RTC means, it means bad news. That's where you go when you get in trouble. And he sent me there, and I'm like, what did I do? And he did that a lot to me. He would send me just to RTC, and he would be like, how dare you sneeze? And I'm like, what did I do? And then he would send me an RTC because I dropped a pencil, because I coughed, because I blew my nose. I honestly never did anything wrong in his class. He just hated me. So next clip with the mystical Mr. Max. You're all frogs! I'm a frog, you're a frog! What? And this is legitimately what one of my classmates said. Are you on drugs? You're a frog! All of you RTC, now! No! Go! Go! Frogs are evil! All of you, now! That was the most random moment that I ever had in his class. I'm pretty sure he was on drugs or drunk that day. He literally started screaming at us that we were all frogs and then sent us out in the hall, and the teacher came walking along and he just stopped and stared at us why are all of you out here? And I'm like, because in my head, because Mr. Max is on drugs and he's calling us all frogs and told us to go to RTC, but instead we're just out in the hall. That's what I said in my head, and the teacher's like, I'm just gonna go in this classroom and ask Mr. Cook. And then all of a sudden, we just hear Mr. Cook. Sorry, that's the next teacher. Mr. Max just yelled, "You're a frog!" with this most demon voice I've ever heard. And I'm just like, he's definitely on drugs right now. And my friend, and she's just standing next to me what just happened? And we were just talking, and then Mr. Cook comes running out with that teacher following him. Well, I keep calling him Mr. Cook. That's the next teacher, guys. Mr. Max just comes running out screaming frogs and ran down the hall, and I'm just like, what just happened? But he was okay. I'm surprised he didn't get fired. we never found out. Like 10 minutes later, he just walked calmly past us and like everyone, and he's like, "Come on, everyone, time for class." And we all just like, walk in like horrified, scared that he'd call us frogs again and try and send us to RTC. So that was really random. And yeah, another time with Mr. Max. Let's do this. This was after recess, okay? Just pretend we all just came in and sat down. Mr. Max, I'm getting bullied. I don't care! But it's the rule that, and it comes to you that you have to handle this. I don't care. Mr. Max? What? Can I go to the RTC, please? No! But okay, I'm gonna go make myself sneeze then. So I sneezed. Go to RTC! Okay. You fell for my trap! Ha! So I ran all the way to RTC, told the RTC teacher, "Hey, I'm getting bullied and Mr. Cook sent me to RTC because I sneezed again." And he's like, "Let's go down to class." And yeah. Okay, next teacher. We'll do Mr. Cook now. By the way, I can never choose a name for him. It's always Cook or Shane. So that's why I'm just going by Cook right now. No, I'm just going to change it to Shane. Let's go to the next one. By the way, this teacher has the most iciest blue gaze in history, where it's scary. You can literally feel him staring at you without even looking at him. So, yeah, this guy was awful to me too. So, yeah, let's get to this. This is also about students too. So this kid in front of me during Mr. Shane's class, he would put bottle caps in his mouth. So just pretend he has one in his mouth right now. Dude, you're gonna choke on that. No, I won't. Dude, yes you will. Watch. You're gonna choke on it, and I'm gonna laugh if you do. And he legitly started choking after that, and I'm like, I told you. And I started backing up, and like the kid next to me named Jackson backed up too, and then Lynn, my friend, she's just like scooched away like a mile away from him, and he's like choking to death. And Mr. Shane was just like laughing his head off at the desk, and we're all like, everyone in the classroom is just staring at this kid, and he's just choking to death. And I'm just like, you good? Trying to hold my laughter again because I was right. Like, I wasn't gonna laugh because he was about to die. I was just laughing and trying to keep laughing because I was right, and he wouldn't listen. With a little like that sound, the bottle cap came right out, and I was like, good job, bro. You alive? Yes. No, I wanted you to keep choking. Then I'm like, what? Mr. Arthur like whispered that, and I like, my desk was like right next to his, and I'm like, Mr. Shane. Oh my god. And then the kid just randomly says, I'm afraid of Pinkie Pie. Are you sure you don't mean Pinkamena? No, Pinkie Pie. Like regular Pinkie Pie. We all just huddle around him at our desk. So you're afraid of like My Little Pony Pinkie Pie. Correct. What else are you afraid of? Koalas. We all just look at each other like, and the desk next to us just slowly goes back to their work, and I'm like, we all just stare at each other like, what just happened? And he just like sits right back up and acts like nothing happened. And this kid would constantly stare at me. Like, I'm pretty sure he had a crush on me. Because I would be doing my work, and then I would look up for a second to see what the board, and he would be staring at me, and I'll be like, just stare right back at him for a minute, and look at the board, look back down, and do my work. So, yeah. Next thing. Mr. Shane's making out with booties. Oops. Oh no. Another moment. He moved me to the back of the class because he wanted someone mature back there with all the naughty kids. So there's like where I sat was an open gap. So during my social studies class, there was a kid who would always fall asleep during class. And I'm going to call him the Mr. Sandman. Sandman would fall asleep and start falling toward me, and I would just back my chair up and I would let him fall on the ground, and I would just stare at him like, bro. And he wouldn't even wake up when he fell off. I'm pretty sure he had something wrong with him, because every time he fell, he would stay asleep. Mr. Arthur would just stare in the back of the room. Everyone would turn and start laughing, seeing what Sandman has done this time, and I'll be like in the middle of the aisleway, like just staring at him, and I'll be like, and then I'll turn around and stare at Mr. Shane, and he'd stare right back at me, and we're just having a staring contest, and I'll be like, in my head, why did you put me back here with idiots? Because not only did I have to sit in the back with the idiots, I had to sit between Sandman and another kid who we'll call Crazy Man. Crazy Man and Sleep Man person I had to sit in the middle of, and Sandman would slowly start falling. I would back up. Crazy Man would slide to the side. Not only was Crazy Man crazy, he liked me. So every time during my work, he would start falling asleep, and he would fall over, and he would inch closer and closer to me, where he's pretty much breathing on my neck, and I would be like, I would just like turn around and stare at Mr. Shane and be like, why did you put me back here? And my friend Person would just stare at me and smile because I had to sit between the idiots. So I was cornered, and this kid, Crazy Man, would run around the room 24/7, knock down the teacher, run around the room, hide under desks. And Mr. Shane, you want to know what he would do? He would chase him. And one time he literally tripped and, like, face first was on top of Crazy Man. And I felt so bad. It wasn't even funny. I would just stare, like, are you dead? Mr. Shane just sat up and dragged Crazy Man and sat him right next, and plopped him right in a chair right next to him, and I would be like, oh my god. Another kid in my class who thought she was a demon, her name, we'll call her Demon Girl. She thought she was a demon, and her boyfriend was Sandman. And I would be like, girl, she had some problems, we'll just say that. But next up,